This is Mehera-Meher, page 444 at the bottom. The recitation of the prayers was stopped, and Baba began spending more time in the hall, listening to correspondence and to Bao's writings. Baba came to Mandali Hall at 9 a.m. and stayed until noon. Goher often brought Baba soda water. He also liked fizzies, tablets of different flavors that fizzed in water like a carbonated drink. Baba drank this about 8 times a day, using a half a tablet each time in a half a glass of water. The side note says Baba did not like to drink plain water. The fizzies were sweetened without sugar. He only liked the raspberry flavor. As she had done at Guru Prasad, sometimes when Baba asked, Mani followed him to the hall, carrying the portable record player, playing There's a Heartache Following Me. Along with Jim Reeves' song, Welcome to My World, Harry Belafonte's Coconut Woman was also played in the hall. Besides miming the words to Welcome to My World, Baba did the same during the Coconut song, teasing Francis about the song's reference to rum, and in brackets, which Francis would have enjoyed imbibing, in brackets. At times, Baba looked so big, said Mani. At other times, so small. Baba looked big after his bath, and when he gestured to the words of Welcome to My World on the gramophone. Yet at other times he appeared so small. Rano said that Baba always looked small to her when he was wearing Western clothes, like, like someone you wanted to take care of. Mani also related that at times Baba's body would be so heavy, for example, when he would ask them to help him turn over on the bed. But the very next day, they could turn him easily. Likewise, when the men were carrying Baba in the lift chair. At times, he would feel so light, and then suddenly he would feel very heavy. Baba explained it was related to the weight of his work. Baba played his part so perfectly, Mani continued. At times, one might even say he looked helpless. At times, so big, so vast. Once I just happened to come to Mandali Hall, I think to have Baba touch photos that were to be sent out to his lovers in the West. He wasn't well. His health was not good. He was weak, and he looked it, hunched over, bent in the chair. When the male reading was over, he looked at the clock and said, I'm not so well today. I'll go quickly to my room. I'll retire early. Immediately, Erich got up and then Francis, and both rushed to help him get up, to support him up from the chair. Erich took hold of one hand, Francis of his other hand, and they were all ready. I was watching. I swear, all Baba did was just to move a finger on both hands, and these people almost tumbled over each other and were afraid of falling on Baba, trying to hold the chair, and barely saved themselves from falling over Baba. They stood there looking amazed. Francis said, Oh, Baba, you're strong. And Baba looked up at him and said, Don't forget it. The next instant, Baba said, with a helpless expression, Lift me up, help me up. He put up his hands, allowed himself to be helped, supported, and came over to our side. How well he plays his role. The side note here says, in the last months of Baba's life, under the pretext of having to test a fountain pen, Mani gave Baba a few photographs one day, which he signed. It was Meher Baba's last signature. Mehera had a similar experience. Every day she held Baba's hand to support him as he walked. Once, however, when she slipped, Baba pulled her upright. I thought I was helping Baba, she said, but he showed me that he was helping me. It was another lesson for her. He is helping really all the time. Twice, Baba demonstrated this to Mani as well. One time, before Baba was completely confined to his room, he came to the dining room, Mehera supporting him. I was supporting him too because of his weak health. I had my whole arm through his arm, Baba holding us. Suddenly, most unexpectedly, Baba gave a tug and drew me to him, which I felt. Then I realized it was I who was leaning on Baba, not he on me. He was leading me. I wasn't leading him. In the last week of January 1969, Baba was very weak physically. He was sitting up on the bed, a table before him, for his meals. I used to sit on the other side of the bed to give support to him. I leaned my back against his back. Rano and I took turns. My back was a cushion for him to lean against. I thought I was supporting him. Yet, while I thought I was supporting Baba, it was Baba who was supporting me, really. Mani concluded, there is no giving from us except giving up. All giving is really our receiving. He gives opportunities, creates them for us to give. While Baba was in the hall with the mandali, Erich massaged his feet with talcum powder. As mentioned previously, Baba never liked anything greasy applied to his body. As mentioned previously, whoops, but he did allow himself to be rubbed with almond oil, which was nourishing. Erich did this on Harry's chiropractic table in the hall or on a surgical bed that was sometimes placed in the hall when Ginde wanted to give Baba neck traction. Side note says, this chiropractic table is now kept in Meherazad Free Dispensary. Arnavaz's brother, Dara Dadachanji, sent an inaugural batch of a face cream he intended to manufacture and sell, requesting Baba to use it first. Mehera showed it to Baba one morning in his room. Baba, let me apply a little on you, she said. Baba smiled and said, all right. Mehera dabbed some on his cheeks and rubbed it in. Baba's cheeks were so smooth and lovely. Baba said, only put a little, that's enough. Baba came to the dining room and then washed his face. I knew he wouldn't like to keep it on his face for too long, Mehera said. I felt nice that I had applied it to Baba. Baba had used it first, and those who had sent it would feel happy about this. The next morning, again Mehera brought the jar of face cream. Baba, let me apply it, she said. Baba looked at her and said, yesterday you applied it, and today also? Baba permitted her, but then said, now, from tomorrow, you apply it. You use it. So Baba adroitly extricated himself from another quote-unquote onerous routine. He let Mehera do it twice, as he saw that she was so eager. That much he tolerated for her sake. But then, No more. Baba didn't like anything greasy, Mehera reiterated. During winter months, I wanted to apply face cream to him, and Baba wouldn't say no. He put up with it for 2 days and then slipped out of it. To fulfill Baba's wish, Mehera finished the remaining cream in the jar, but she was glad there wasn't much inside, as she preferred using rose water and glycerin on her face. Goher recommended it, as in the cold weather with dry wind, the skin gets dry. It feels as if my skin is being pulled taut. Baba also managed to escape from something else he did not want to do. During the last year, Baba would find any excuse not to bathe. When he was in the hall, Goher came from the house and asked, Mehera wants to know whether you will take a bath today so we can prepare the water. Baba told Alaba to go out and see whether there were any clouds. If there were, he would say, Not today, it's very cloudy, I might catch a cold. If there were bright sunshine, he would say, I'm feeling feverish, we'll see tomorrow. Under one pretext or another, any and all excuses were trotted out to avoid bathing until later. Months passed. The women gave up and asked the men to try to coax them. The almond oil had finished, and Erich was back to using talcum powder to massage Baba. Baba's pores had become blocked, first with the talcum powder, then with the oil, and now with more talcum powder. This was one more reason why they wanted Baba to take a proper bath. One day, after all persuasions had failed, Erich thought of another ploy. While presenting Baba with some letters in the hall, he came close to Baba and started sniffing the air. Baba asked, What's the matter? There's some nasty stink here, Erich said, although there was no such smell. Erich pretended to look for something under the chair and behind the table. It's your head, Baba. You haven't taken a bath for a long time. Baba rubbed his head and smelt his hand. I can't smell anything. Maybe your nose is choked. Of course, we don't mind the smell. I mean, of course, we don't mind the smell, but visitors who come for darshan might find it offensive. Others agreed, Baba, you need to take a bath. Baba said, All right, call Goher. When she came, Baba told her, some time back, someone from the States sent a bottle of perfume. I gave it to Mehera. Is it still there? If so, bring it. Baba left on her small bicycle and brought back the bottle. Baba unscrewed the cap, smelt it, and then applied it to himself. Put it on the windowsill, and as soon as anyone comes, apply it, he instructed Erich. The Mondali were foiled again. In fact, there was never any smell from Baba's body, just the opposite. Though Baba was not bathing much in later years, Meheru recalled, he had such a beautiful bodily fragrance. You never thought of it, that he was not bathing. It was like a delicate rose scent. Whenever Baba took off his sadra, such a lovely fragrance would come. We wanted to smell it. All of us wanted to hold the Sadra to ourselves gently before it went to the wash, to feel that closeness and warmth of Baba it emitted. One day, when Erich was massaging Baba's toes, dried skin from his sole came off. He showed it to Baba and suggested that since Baba did not want to take a bath, at least he should soak his feet in a basin of water. Later, Baba replied. Goher kept the basin and water ready anyway. When the men Mandali were called to Baba's bedroom, it was brought, and Baba asked, "What is this?" Erich explained that he was to soak his feet in this basin of water with lavender, which Baba liked, while seated on the bed. Baba had to be coaxed like a recalcitrant child. And the side note says Yardley English lavender cologne was one brand that was used. So Baba had to be coaxed like a recalcitrant child. Reluctantly, he acquiesced. Erich washed and scrubbed his feet with a washcloth. A pail of water was brought. The water was changed, and gradually Erich worked his way up to Baba's legs. Baba lay down and asked, "What are you doing?" Erich said, "Now the warm water is there, why waste it?" Sponging him all over. Baba said, "You are using the same technique that I used on my musts." Erich replied, "You taught me." Nevertheless, Baba was adamant about not having his head washed during the last year. It may have been washed only once during 1968. Goher gave Mehera a lotion to apply called Salicyliade, which keeps the scalp clean and prevents dandruff. Mehera parted Baba's hair in one spot and rubbed it in, then in another part, until the entire scalp was covered. While Mehera continued to do Baba's personal work until the end, one day that she relinquished to the men in 1968. Um, sorry. While Mehera continued to do Baba's personal work until the end, one duty that she relinquished to the men in 1968 was clipping Baba's toenails. Mehera always cut the toenails very short. Now, not only had Baba's nails become tough, making them more difficult to cut, Baba was more sensitive about it. His feet had become sensitive with so little walking. Mehera asked whether Erich could cut them, as she did not have the necessary strength to do it properly. The side note says, Mehera knew that during most must trips, Erich cut Baba's toenails, since he saved them and, when they returned, sent them inside to Mehera in a paper packet. So Mehera asked whether Erich could cut them, as she did not have the necessary strength to do it properly, and she felt she might be hurting Baba. Baba said, "All right," and Mehera told Goher to give the man the new toenail clippers given by Audie Jr. when he came from England. Baba allowed Erich to start to cut them, but Erich had barely begun when Baba would say, "Enough." During 1968, Baba gargled and rinsed his mouth before breakfast, which he ate between 8 and 8:30 a.m. He still went to the hall at 9, but now he came back at 10:45, resting in his room for an hour before lunch. Baba lay on his back, rolled over, asked questions, and talked with Rano. Massaged Baba's back and legs as Rano read to him. When Mehera left to feed Mustan, Meheru continued the massage. Baba ate lunch at 12:30 every day. In the last year, practically the only thing he ate for lunch was fried fish. No vegetables, chapati, rice, bread, or carbohydrate. Just plain fish. Previously, he had had mutton with curry, but now he wanted only fish. The side note says, for dinner, Baba had rice and dal or curry with a little butter, fried onions, and garlic chutney. Meher said, eating just fish for lunch didn't give him enough nourishment. He needed bread or wheat chapatis to give him strength. His appetite also diminished. Mehera had, in fact, been concerned about Baba's diet for years. Aside from the fact that right from the time Baba John kissed him, Baba was a strict vegetarian, he didn't eat enough. Oftentimes he skipped meals or undertook long fasts. When he was young, he didn't get proper nourishment either. Since Baba could not chew anything hard, the soft seafood, either quote unquote Bombay duck or pomfret sent by Arnavaz from Bombay, was just right. He liked the fish to be filleted or filleted. Mehera sat next to him at the dining table for lunch. Mehera always put a bit of fish from his plate onto hers, while others were having their usual vegetarian meal. No, Baba, you are told to take sufficient protein, she told him. It's for you. Baba said, take it, there's plenty. In those last days, when Baba was eating so little, one of the few things he enjoyed was freshly made buttermilk. Tak, T-A-K. He loved it plain, without salt or pepper. Meheru prepared it from the cream when the butter was churned, and Baba drank it twice a day, every day. We had to make yogurt first, Meheru explained. But it should not be sour, and we had no fridge to keep it cool. We did not have enough cream either, so Gohar asked Adi Sr., who sent cream from the Dowlat Lodge restaurant. One day, something happened with the buttermilk, which both Mehera and Meheru regretted for the rest of their lives. I still remember this incident, Meheru said with remorse, and feel so bad about it. Mehera had told Nadja to make buttermilk curry, and Nadja asked me for the buttermilk. I did not have enough for both the curry and Baba's buttermilk drink, and with reluctance I gave her some. Baba, seeing the curry, took just a spoonful for his lunch and asked for the buttermilk. Since he was given less than the usual amount of buttermilk, he asked for more. We did not have it to give, as the yogurt for the evening had not yet set. Both Mehera and I felt so bad. We remember it to this day. As much as we wanted to, our service to Baba was not always perfect. Mehera felt similarly. I still feel bad that we didn't keep enough buttermilk for Baba. It shows that we made mistakes, that we couldn't serve him perfectly. Although their mistake seems like something no one could have been expected to foresee, such were the aspirations of those closest to the Avatar, to please their beloved in every possible way, under any and all circumstances. Whenever Baba washed his face in the dining room, Mehera had to tidy up if the tablecloth or floor had gotten wet. One morning, when Baba returned from the Mondelez to his room after removing his sadra, he asked Mehera what she was thinking. She had been working all morning, looking after Baba's things, on her feet the whole time. I am feeling tired, Mehera admitted. My legs feel rather tired. Yes, he said. Come over here and sit. And Baba shifted over slightly to make room for her on his bed. She sat for a few minutes. I was rather shy and told Baba that now I felt better and was all right. The others were all running around and I was sitting down. On another morning, Baba told Mehera something privately that she never knew before. After her father had passed away, the family house on Tadiwala Road in Pune had been registered in Mehera's name. Once, when Baba was still talking, Baba, Mehera, Dalit Mai, and a driver went to Pune to sign legal documents to have it sold. There were also bank deposits, gold jewelry, and other properties to sell. When we joined Baba, we sold everything, Mehera said, and made good money. All the proceeds were laid at Baba's feet. I never gave a thought to it, that we have offered all this to Baba. But after all those years, one morning in August or September 1968, when Baba was seated at the dining room table, I was alone with him. Mani was coming and going. Meheru was busy preparing hot water. Goher was fooling with the radio. And Naja was in the kitchen, preparing something for Baba. Baba looked at me and said, all that your mother offered me was useful for me to contact the West. It was used to finance my first trip to England. It was so noble of Baba to tell me this. Much of the money had already been used for the Prem Ashram, but some was kept aside for this first trip to the West. Baba said, you are fortunate that I used your mother's gift. Remembering those early years, another day when they were seated together in Baba's bedroom, Mehera smiled to herself and told Baba, there was one thing I did not like when I came to stay in the ashram, one thing which I found very difficult. Baba looked surprised. He knew Mehera loved being in the ashram. Really? He asked. What? Getting up so early in the morning was too difficult for me. I never liked getting up early in the morning. Having to rise at 5 a.m., it was too much. Then on your birthday, we had to get up at 3 o'clock. I couldn't open my eyes and had to splash cold water on my face. I had to fight myself, force myself to get up. Baba smiled and said, good, good that you did get up. It was like a penance. You were there, so I would force my eyes open. No, I must make tea for Baba, I would say to myself. Later, Mehera observed, Krishna was born at 12 a.m. It is good Baba was born at 5 a.m. Otherwise, would have to stay awake till midnight. Baba knew I could not do without sleep. He was compassionate this time to give his lovers a few hours' sleep. 7 in the morning would have been nicer. Since he is the awakener, someone joked. He wanted to wake everybody up. And Mehera laughed in agreement. Sweet picture. We saw a similar one last week, I think. Under the Arbor by the New Life Caravan in Meherazad. Rano, Nargis Dudded, Chanji, Meheru, Katie, Khorshid, Arnavaz, Baba holding Mehera's hand. And Naja took the photograph. Oh no, Naja's in the photograph. Probably 22 December 1966 or 27 December 1967. Mani took the photograph. Baba resting on the couch, relaxing at Grafton, Satara, 1955. Perhaps Nagu took this picture. Chapter 154 Hints. In 1968, Meher Baba told Mehera 3 more things in private, which helped her through the difficult days ahead. On one occasion early that year, he put his forefingers together and said, "We will always together, you and I." Of course, Mehera was pleased to hear this, but after Baba dropped his body, she wondered what he had meant by it. Another day, Mehera was sitting near Baba in his room. The others were moving about as usual. Baba told her, "When I come next time, I will bring you with me." Mehera was so happy she embraced Baba. Later, she would wonder about this too. I should have asked Baba, in this same role as his chief woman disciple? I was worried about that. Suppose I'm with him and there is another woman there that is so close to him. The side note says perhaps Baba meant in name. Mehera's name will live on when he comes again. Sometime after this, while seated on his bed, Baba stated, "I will live for 90 years." He made the gesture for so long, meaning he would be alive for many more years to come. So don't worry, he said. Mehera was happy about this also. Then he pointed to her and added, "And you will live for 80 years. Bapre, meaning father in heaven, she thought. That is a very long life. She was 61 at the time. She said, "I will be an old granny. I don't want to be so old. Let me be strong to serve you." Baba shook his head. So Mehera said, "Okay, as you please, Baba." And the incident was forgotten. Later, Mehera would puzzle long and hard over this statement. Now, I wonder what Baba meant by that. That time also I didn't ask Baba about it. I knew what Baba was saying, yet when he dropped his body, I wondered, because Baba had said he would live till 90. So we didn't expect Baba to drop his body at 75. I never dreamed Baba would drop his body. Baba's language we can never understand. It is all as Baba has planned and as he wishes. We just abide by it. Side note says Mehera lived to the age of 82. Baba revealed something new to Mani also. Mani would at times despair over something that had happened with Mehera. It wasn't easy always, she confessed. Baba has told me that I have a very long connection with Mehera, very deep and long. Sometimes when Baba sensed that I was impatient with Mehera over something, he told me, don't be impatient with her. You and Mehera have a long connection, far, far back, so don't get impatient. Sometimes, no matter how much one tried, it didn't seem enough to please Mehera. I became exasperated, but Baba said, do it. Please her. In 1968, Baba was seated in the hall with Goher and me. We, along with Meheru, were most involved with Mehera, seeing to her things and being with her. Baba told us, it is always like that, looking after Mehera. For the first time, he spoke about his past advents through very clear gestures. It was the same with the companions when I was Ram, when I was Krishna, when I was Jesus, and when I was Muhammad. Always the same. And he went on to mention how his close women companions in previous advents faced the same challenges that those attending to Mehera faced now. Mani then realized more clearly what her role should be in relation to Mehera. Although Baba had stated that his universal work was completed, he continued to do his work, adding that a small amount remained unfinished. On 4 August, Mehera wrote to Irene, "It is now very pleasant in Meherazad. A few showers. July 10, the servants were quiet. All was very quiet. None of us spoke to Mastan, but Baba gave him extra tidbits to compensate." A month later, she wrote, "Beloved Baba looks very tired due to the intense strain of his universal work." Each week, Rano continued to read aloud articles from Time magazine. Baba had been following recent events in Czechoslovakia. The ouster of President Novotny and his replacement with a reformer, Alexander Dubček. In August 1968, however, when Rano began an article about Dubček, Baba gestured to read something else, commenting that Dubček was finished. "No, Baba," Rano corrected him. "He's standing up to the Russians." Just 1 week later, the Russians invaded Czechoslovakia and Dubček was toppled. Baba had remarked to the men in August, "Coming, coming, coming, came. I am tired of the illusion game." And during these final months, Mehera did notice a change in Baba. He seemed distant and remote, as if his mind were somewhere else. For example, she would comb his hair or wash his hands, and then Baba would say, "Wash my hands." Again, Mehera would do it. Once Mehera said to him, "But Baba, I just washed your hands." With a surprised look, Baba explained, "I'm so far away from all this, the gross world. Sometimes I forget." Meheru, too, noticed that at times during those last months, Baba was not aware of his surroundings. One day, when Baba came to the veranda from the hall, he sat for some time and said that he felt very tired. "I'm thinking of resting for 700 years," he told them. Baba was serious, but the women did not realize the full import of his casual remark. "We thought that Baba was so very tired," said Mehera. "He wished to rest. We had no idea what Baba meant by that. We thought Baba just wanted to put it very strongly. That's why he said 700 years. What did we know? All day long, sitting in one place in Mondley Hall, Baba must be very tired. A sedentary life is also quite tiring. We can get up and walk about, do something, wash our clothes. His appetite, too, became less because of lack of exercise. When talking, you can easily express your thoughts quickly, but each time to spell out what to reply to every question was very difficult for Baba. He used to get very tired. Baba had to have so much patience all those years. No one could have done it. Only Baba. Mehera said to him, "If you're tired, we'll massage you for a little while. Come inside and lie down." Taking her arm, Baba walked slowly into his bedroom. Mehera helped him off with his coat. Rano took it from her and hung it on a hanger on the wall peg. Baba lay down. Goher massaged the nape of his neck, Mani his back. Mehera massaged his shoulders and arms, and sometimes his legs. She sat on the stool that looks like a cut-off chair to do his shoulders. After the massage, Baba said that he felt better. He rested for half an hour and then had lunch. One afternoon, Mani had this experience. Baba was resting. We women were around him on little wooden stools, pressing his body. Mehera was doing his hands. We withdrew our hands when we found him completely resting. Baba gestured to stop without opening his eyes, and no one dared to move. We sat silently without moving. We were not in our usual places or chairs. We were right next to him. Yet we cannot move as Baba is resting. After a while, it was as if waves were coming from Baba's person as he was lying there. The only way I can describe it is like a blind person sitting at the beach, knowing he's at the ocean, although he cannot see it. He experiences it because when you're at the ocean, you can feel the waves and smell the ocean. The only word would be purity. Waves of absolute purity flowing from his body and washing over us. God is not only supreme love, but also absolute purity. That day, Baba was a little off guard, as I like to call it, because he allowed them to experience his purity. And I still remember I was overwhelmed by it. In mid-October, Baba summoned 30 of his closest followers to Meherazad for a meeting at which he announced his decision to give darshan in April 1969 at Guru Prasad. He stated, I have been saying, the time is near. It is fast approaching. It is close at hand. Today I say, the time has come. Remember this. His intention was to give darshan at fixed times for 2 months. Mani was concerned that there would be no intervals between the group darshans being planned. Baba dismissed her anxieties, telling her it would be easy to go ahead and schedule their arrival as he had dictated. It was another hint. After the meeting, Baba told the Mandali that when he returned from Pune next year, he would give darshan every day. Mani happened to come into the hall and overheard Baba's remark. We haven't even gone to Pune, she thought, and Baba's talking about giving darshan every day? She became worried. First, there will be a circular announcing the darshan, and then another one canceling it. In her mind came visions of the enormous amount of correspondence involved. How Baba would, of course, say later his health did not permit it. Mani grew more agitated. Concerning his poor health, all the Mandali were naturally apprehensive of his body withstanding such a strain. However, Baba at one point said, it will be easy for me to give my lovers my darshan, so you are not to feel concerned about it. I will give darshan reclining, and there will be no strain on my body. It will be different from all previous darshans, and it will be the last in silence. Eric told Baba that his habit of making plans and later rescinding them was like playing with a baby. When the baby is cooing and cute, one is happy to play with it. But the moment it does something in its nappies, one hands it over to the nanny to change the diapers. We are like the ayah, Erich declared. Ayah is spelled Ayah. We are like the ayah, Erich declared. We have to change the diapers afterwards. Baba hands his new plans over to us. Erich then expressed his long-held opinion that Baba should set a time, give darshan every day, and not bother about making arrangements for his lover's stay in Pune or Ahmednagar. Baba looked at him and simply repeated, every day, every day. Mani piped in, Baba, come back from Pune and see how you feel. Then we'll inform everyone. Again, Baba said with a gentle expression, every day, every day. At one point, after Mani kept asking how he would physically be able to give darshan to so many when his health was so poor, Baba turned to Erich and gestured. Mani is crazy. I keep telling her it's going to be so easy, and she goes on harping on the same thing. How will he do it? How will he do it? Only then did Mani keep her reservations to herself. Baba had postponed giving darshan to the Westerners in 1965, and Mani was worried the same thing would happen again. One day in his bedroom, Baba reassured her, I will give darshan. I will surely give darshan. And to my new ones, my young ones, I will give most to them. Mani could not help replying, but Baba, what about your old ones? The ones who have been waiting, longing for so long. Yes, yes, they too, he said, but mostly to my young ones. At that time, we didn't know about so many young ones, Mani explained. Baba added, "They will come from all over, my children." Baba's expression became serious and thoughtful. "You will see them." Pointing to his heart for the gesture of lovers, he repeated, "You all will see my lovers." He paused, thought for a moment, and with a beautiful expression, made the sign for perfection, thumb and forefinger closed. He pointed to his ring finger, each one a gem. The expression on his face as he was saying this, Mani reflected, was as a proud father or a loving mother. Nevertheless, one thing troubled her. "You will see them?" Why hadn't Baba said we will see them? Of course, she reasoned, because Baba had already seen them. He sees without seeing, as he is all knowing, all loving. Therefore, he had said, "You will see them." Baba, of course, meant something quite different, as Mani realized later. Sitting in Mandali Hall, Baba often told them, "Just watch. All of you will be witnesses to what will happen, to what will take place." Said Mani, "Now we see that his words have come true. This means that he had his eye on each of you. As God, he knows which ones are going to come to him, which one he is going to touch with his love, and there will be more and more. You are all very fortunate. Baba still is. He can see you, but we can't see him." Baba, in fact, said the exact same thing to Mehera. He and Mehera were alone in his room when Mehera was passing by his bed about to leave. She stopped by the table and Baba signed to her with a sweet expression. "Later on, all will want to see me, but they won't be able to see me like this." Mehera did not understand at the time what he really meant and took it that he would be in seclusion. I didn't know what he meant by that. The thought that Baba was going to drop his body never entered my mind. Meheru recalled another day during these final months. One of the many memorable moments of Baba and Meher together, for me, captured in time, was around the end of his last year with us. Visibly, we could see the toll his work had taken on his body, yet there were moments when his divinity showed through that coat he had assumed. At this time, there was another glimpse of his infinite love for Mehera that transcended the frailty of his health. In Baba's room, Mani had put on, at Baba's request, a favorite long playing record of Qawwali singing. Baba was enjoying both the voice of the woman singer and the depth of the meaning of the song. It was a description of the intensity of the love that the must has for the beloved, carrying not for himself, but burning in love for God. I was just about to enter Baba's room, but stopped at the door so as not to interrupt the mood. Baba was seated and looking down at Mehera with such concentration, interpreting through gesture the depth of love the song portrayed. And there was Mehera looking up at Baba in complete absorption, with the sweetest expression and a smile on her face. How can I describe the scene? It was the feeling I got. They were by themselves, complete in their own world, with Baba's love pouring on her and filling the room. I waited for the record to end, the moment to pass before entering. To see them together, this was something so indescribably touching, so beautiful to behold, an unforgettable moment captured in time. Side note says Meheru Irani, quote unquote, quote, remembering Mehera, end quote. Love Street Lamppost, April, June 1999, page 26. At the meeting in October, Baba indicated that the Pune Darshan would be exclusively for his lovers, not for the general public. The time for the world's crowds to come to me will be when I break my silence and manifest my divinity. After I break my silence and manifest as the avatar of the age, there will be no need for darshan program arrangements, as all will then know and feel me within. In November, he said, the days of my manifestation are nearing fast, and only to Mehera have I mentioned the time of the breaking of my silence. And we'll pick up here at the top of page 458 next week.